right, good morning everybody. Sorry we're late again. I think we've been late the last several days getting started. The good news is, the reason is, I was spending some time researching and trying to figure out why some of the cameras keep going to this gray out interference on the picture, and I think I've solved the problem. So far so good. I have updated the settings on the mast camera, the one facing forward where you can see the head sail, which may be the most important. That seems to be what people really enjoy, is seeing the ocean. And so far so good. If that works well, I will duplicate those same settings in the other cameras, which should sort of lower the overall bandwidth, but honestly I don't see any degradation in picture quality, so I think it's a win. But we'll see how that goes. So anyway, what's going on? It's a beautiful day on the ocean. If you can see out on the mast camera, it's really calm. Just large rollers, you know, very, very smooth, easy going. It's a beautiful day, it's sunny. The only downside to that is that that also means not much wind. So, you know, we got 9 or 10 knots of wind, so we're poking along here at 4-point-something knots, you know, 4 to 5, which is slower than we want to be going. That'll make it take a very long time to get to French Polynesia. But we had good wind overnight, and at times we were hitting 7 knots, so it's all a trade-off. We motored for a little while yesterday because we did a good job conserving our diesel and have 40 to 45% of our diesel still left on board, so that's great. Anyway, our goal is to be live all day, basically from the morning, not quite as early as sunrise, but not long thereafter, you know, and stream every day from like, these are Pacific times, like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. You know, that's what's that, 10 hours. So we're gonna try to do a better job of making sure we hit that. Boy, we had some busy mornings here recently getting stuff done, but things are kind of settling into a routine now. Where are we? If you're looking on the tracker, the link to the tracker is in the description of this video. It's in our link tree. And so we are well across the equator. We're 6 degrees south and 117 degrees west. We're gonna start a daily countdown showing miles to go. So I gotta figure out how we're gonna share that. But that's the goal. And I have an idea for how to add another camera focused on the sails, which is kind of a cool view. I think I can figure that out. So a lot of neat ideas here. Megan and I this morning were brainstorming on a number of different ideas for how to share this experience. Like, the live stream is cool, but the reality is most of you guys drop in for a few minutes here and there, and most of the time there's nothing going on. So we wanted maybe get more highlight reels out there so you can really see, you know, what does it look like. Like yesterday we did a whole thing with changing the sails. So maybe we start sharing that and then, you know, look for that content online. So anywho, good morning. We're happy to have you aboard. Thank you for coming. Thank you for fixing the mast cam. Yes, you are very welcome. It was annoying, wasn't it? Yeah, thank you. I'm not LASADVG girl. I won't try to pronounce your handle, but yeah, thanks so much.
Morning, everybody. What's up? Oh, wow. What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't feel good to sit on.
Yeah, right?
Checking in. What's going on today? So
I'll answer your question about the cameras in a minute, so stay tuned.
We are, what cameras are we using? Steve, answer.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
okay.
we have a mixture. The camera on the mast and the camera on the mast is a Reolink E1 Pro outdoor camera, which is actually a security camera. And then the camera showing the aft cockpit and the helm are Reolink E1 indoor cameras. So we're a big fan of Reolink, and we don't have a sponsorship with them or anything like that. So I have no
Reolink partners.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I would be happy to have a sponsorship, but
they're great cameras. We have used them on our house.
Yes, our house. Our house is surrounded by these cameras. It almost looks like a CIA compound because, of course, we're not there to keep an eye on it. So the cameras do that, and they're cool because
This is our house in Nevada that we're talking about.
They automatically track. You can set them to use AI to track humans, which has been great for security, but it's also great for here on the boat because as we're moving around, they're not perfect, but they do a pretty good job of following us as we move around, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So real quick, I'm gonna just jump in. Do you mind if
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to check in. So we are on day 20 of sailing across the Pacific Ocean, no land. Steve and I are still here. We haven't killed each other yet. It's definitely been trying.
Came close.
No.
I'm pretty sure I was standing next to the edge, and I think Megan was going to push me over. You thought about it.
Steve, no, it's definitely this experience has been. We're gonna do a little episode on what this has been for our relationship. So today,
I think that'll actually be really interesting. It takes your relationship and puts you in the pressure cooker, man.
Yeah.
Like everything that you struggle with about each other gets amplified.
Yeah, it's challenging. So, what am I working on today? So this morning.
What are you working on today, Megan?
I'm feeling pretty good today. I have some pain in my back, so I'm gonna stretch and do my little physical therapy workout out here in the back. You'll see that. And then more boat projects. Yesterday I spent a good amount of before 1 o'clock cleaning and tidying up the boat. As you can see, sailing is very much a lot of downtime. It seems like if you're watching it, it's boring, and then there's some crazy chaos. So this downtime I'm utilizing to keep the boat tidy. My mental health really revolves around my environment, and being tidy and clean is very much that.
My mental health revolves around Megan's mental health.
Yes, says every man. And then I'm going to continue working on design projects, and eventually I'll start sharing them here on YouTube. But I'm sharing them on my Instagram, Megan_fabulous, Megan with an H. Before Meghan Markle killed my fabulous name.
Boo. Boo, Meghan Markle.
Anyway, so I'm going to get to it. Thank you for being here, and I'm going to go exercise and stretch my body. That's the other thing is...
That's actually a real thing, too. Before Meghan Markle, if you Googled Meghan and Los Angeles, you came up with this Meghan, because she's a fashion designer. And now Meghan Markle came along and ruined it.
Yeah.
I know that because when I first met her, I totally Googled that, and I was like, oh. Hello.
I hope you still feel that way.
I do.
Yay.
But I'm not Googling you anymore.
Good.
I got IRL.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We'll check in later. Also, Captain Steve's going to do, maybe he's going to do I'm going to check in with everybody on the hour. Maybe put that in the chat. Is we're going to be doing boat projects and things. And as you can see, it's not going to be probably an eventful day, hopefully. We have some lines out, and hopefully we can catch a fish because we're running low on proteins. But I'm going to get to it. All right, nice seeing everybody.
That's actually we were talking about that. I don't know about every hour, but maybe we say on the evens or the odds.
Yeah, maybe at the top of the hour.
I almost hate to schedule something, because then we'll forget.
Well, you're gonna do events.
But if we do the evens, hey, we'll sit down and see what's up at noon, 2, 4. Could we keep a schedule? I guess we could try.
You're gonna set an alarm with me.
Yeah. Okie doke. Anyway, I hope you heard my answer to your question about the cameras. If you're interested in the tech details, there's a protocol called RTSP, I think, and you have to configure the cameras and turn that on in the settings. And then they stream through. We're using software called OBS Studio, which aggregates all the cameras into this quad view and feeds it to YouTube. I'm pretty techie, but thank you. I'm pretty techie, but it wasn't that hard to figure out how to do it. It was kind of fun. So yeah, anyway, thank you to all of our crew members. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for asking questions. What's that? Yeah. And we'll be around.
Steve, you need to oil these fires.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you, Steve.
You're most welcome, my love.
partner Meg.
Yeah, that would actually be a good little reel. I mean, we could do on the Ask Me Anything or whatever, but there's so many things like that that would be easy to turn around and quick and fun with.
It's coming, guys. All right, my headphones are going on, Steve. So you're not. I'm not gonna hear anything here. All right, my headphones are going on, Steve. Steve,
Yeah.
can you grab me that 10-pound weight, just one of them, in that gold basket? Can you grab me that 10-pound weight, just one of them, in that gold basket? Thank you. Thank you. Oh. Steve, that pain that was shooting down my right glute.
Yeah.
My goodness, it's not as bad. That was shooting down
Oh, I'm glad to hear
so
that.
much better. It's not as bad. It's
That's
getting
great
so
news.
much better.
Really great news. Ugh, damn it.
Stop it.
G. Hopefully I'm not butchering the pronunciation. Let's see, make some videos about what you're eating now that you're running out of fresh food. That's a good idea. Separate, what are you doing for fresh water? Love the video in Starlink. All right. Oh, an echo. That's easy to fix. Okay, thank you, Shelly. That, I'm gonna dial down the helm cam a little. Maybe that'll fix that without shutting it off. All right, as I talk, Shelly, let me know if that fixed the echo. Hopefully it did. Let's see, regarding Starlink, if the extra charge for ocean roaming is because they have to bounce your request to other satellites. You know, I think the reality is it doesn't cost Starlink one extra penny to send us data out on the ocean. So the pricing has nothing to do with cost. This is my personal theory. If you're familiar with pricing from, you know, business school, there's cost plus pricing. Like, okay, this costs me 10 bucks, I'm gonna sell it to you for 15. And then there's value pricing. So I think what Starlink is doing is value pricing, is they're saying, okay, even though we got the satellites up there and it costs us the same to send you that data, you're out on the ocean and we're the only game in town, so we're gonna charge you more for it. Frankly, I don't think that's unfair. It's true, and it was only a couple years ago that Starlink wasn't really an option, and if you wanted internet out on the ocean, you were gonna be paying $15 a megabyte to, what was their name? Intelsat, something like that. I'm not getting that right, but there was an internet provider that was coming from satellite, and it was so expensive that I never had it, but from talking to other people, you basically had to like switch it on, download your little tiny bit of navigation and weather information, and then shut it back off. So Starlink, on the other hand, while sure they charge me extra for ocean mode and it's going to be very expensive because we've chosen to live stream and we've chosen to just leave it on, Starlink is charging $2 per gigabyte. So compare that to $15 per megabyte, right? It's insane. Now, given the amount of data that we're sucking down, I mean, we're burning 40 to 50 gigabytes per day with the live stream and uploading and downloading videos and all this other stuff. So you can do the math. You know, we're spending $80 to $100 per day for Starlink. So it's very expensive. But we've just made the decision that that's worth it to us, and you know, people are really enjoying the channel, and it's totally unique. No boat that we've been able to find has ever live streamed their Pacific crossing every day with multiple camera angles. So we think we're doing something cool, and it's worth it. Let's see. What else did you ask? Videos about what we're eating. So I can explain it to you, and doing a couple videos is a great idea. So basically for the first 2 weeks, and first of all, a quick shout out to First Mate Meg, because she took on the duty for provisioning. So all of the food, what we buy, how it gets stored, how it's prepared, all of that was all her. And she did an amazing job. I mean, if it was just me, I'd be living on Cliff Bars and canned chili. But because of her, we're eating like kings and queens. However, even she can't work magic. You know, you're just not gonna have fresh food after, 2 weeks at the most. We were joking yesterday that the only fresh food we had left was onions, and then Megan went and grilled those because that'll make them last longer. So now they're in a container in the fridge and we can have grilled onions on stuff. But, so we had fresh food for about the first 2 weeks. Now that the fresh food out, we're down to frozen food and canned food, which isn't so bad. Like yesterday, she pulled a whole bunch of yellowfin tuna out of the freezer, which was a fish that I had caught back in Mexico and I filleted it right here on the boat, and she divided up those fillets, which were big fillets. It was a big fish. Each fillet was this big. I mean, it was, if you went and bought that in a grocery store, it was probably $1,000 worth of fish. It was amazing. But she divided it up and then individually vacuum sealed each serving, and that went in the freezer. So here we are weeks later, and we're having, you know, sure, it was frozen, but we're still having yellowfin that would compete with any sushi restaurant out there. And we actually prefer it cooked, but still, it's delicious. So we're still eating like kings. She made me this amazing chili Colorado casserole dish yesterday, which I still have half of that as leftovers. I'm really excited about. It's crazy delicious. And that's the kind of stuff I like anyway. So, but it is funny, like I don't eat a ton of fresh fruit at home, and now because I can't have it, like I would give anything right now for a fresh orange and maybe a Pepsi. It's funny how your brain does that to you. But some videos on that is a good idea. Let's see, what else? Is the area where your Starlink is mounted by some solar panels, or is this netting? I'm taking it from that question, maybe you saw, oh yeah, you watched the Starlink video. Those are solar panels. So I have 6 large, they're like 4 foot by 3 foot, maybe even bigger than that. I can't remember, but they're big. I have 6 large solar panels, and then that stainless steel structure was custom built to the size of those solar panels, and that actually provides some shade in the aft area. If you look at the camera in the aft cockpit, you'll see that, see where the dinghy is? Right in front of that is an area, you know, we walk up and down that little area a lot. You know, the grill is right there. We go back and forth to fish. I do some of the laundry sitting right there with a bucket. I don't know if you can see the hose, but there's a hose there that is basically just pumps seawater. We use seawater for a lot. When we wash stuff with seawater, because obviously there's plenty of it, and there's a pump that pulls it out of the ocean and does that. If I wash that area all down, matter of fact, I did it last night. I scrubbed the whole deck there, all with seawater, and then I turn on the fresh water and just rinse it down with fresh water to get rid of the salt, but that doesn't use as much fresh water. You also asked about where the water's coming from. We have a water maker on board. So it's a machine that basically desalinates water in a reverse osmosis process. And when I switch that on, it takes 3 to 5 hours, depending on how empty the tanks are, and boom. Once it's done, we have, what do I have on board? My freshwater capacity is something like 180 gallons or something. So it's a lot. And you know, 5 hours and we'll have 180 gallons of water back in the freshwater tanks. Another video suggestion, First Met Meghan and Captain Steve is the ship. Is that a typo? I don't understand. I don't follow you, so maybe clarify what you mean there. And yes, Shelley, the provisioning would have lasted longer if it hadn't been for the refrigeration problems. Since the station is by the solar panels, does the shadow from the Starlink sometimes reduce your solar collection? That's a great question, because you're obviously aware that shadowing on solar panels will reduce the output of the solar panels. So you're kind of stuck on a boat because there's only so many places that you can mount it. And I'm sure that the Starlink, depending on the angle of the sun, the Starlink puts a little bit of shadow there and probably cuts the PV, the photovoltaic output, a little bit. But really the larger concern is the shadowing from the sails, because the sails are enormous. And there's obviously nothing I can do about that. So you sort of, you know, in an ideal world on land, you would have those solar panels angled to the south, sitting up at an angle, at the perfect angle to capture the sun. That's not an option on a boat, so you just sort of mount them flat and you deal with whatever you get. I considered at one point mounting the Starlink on the spreader up the mast. but I was afraid that would be too fragile. The sails could hit it. If I needed to get to it for repairs, then I have to go up the mast, which is doable at sea, but not fun and dangerous. So yeah, great questions. You obviously know what you're talking about, which is cool. And you're right about the partial shading, and you can actually see, like when the shade puts a shadow over the solar panels. I mean, I can look at it in real time and see what the PV output is. Tour of the ship, yes. We've had a couple of requests for that, so next time I think we have it all cleaned up and looking nice. You know, Megan doesn't like to show it off when it's messy. But we actually do have, if you scroll back through our YouTube and you want to see what it looks like, there are some old tours that we did before we even left. So, what hint, you couldn't rescue me from Mexico. Oh! Really? Ted, is that you? Autocorrect. I love it. BJC members. Why am I struggling with that acronym? BJC. Maybe that was a typo. Was that MCC? I bet it was MCC. Okay, Ted, I'm thinking that's you. Confirm if I'm right. It would make sense with all the technical questions about solar and all of that, because yes. Hi, Ted. Ted is a good friend of mine, is a tennis buddy. We both played tennis at the same club in Manhattan Beach, and we were on the same tennis team for multiple years. We've played together as partners. We've played as opponents. We've had a lot of fun over the years. So, yeah, good guy. Oh, brown juice. Of course, I should have known that. Duh. Okay. Yep. Gotcha, buddy. Thank you. Now I feel kind of dumb. And yeah, we will at some point do another tour. And Megan really likes it when the place is picked up and clean. And so next time we're in that status, we will shoot a quick video, because we've had a lot of that. And you have the ice machine. Good point, Shelly. That's right behind. Oh boy, that's right here. We joke about that a lot. And the ice machine was a gift from a bunch of my tennis buddies, and you know, there's a short list of the number of just perfect gifts that you've gotten in your life. That has been the perfect gift. It burns about 100 watts, which is actually quite a lot of electricity when you're on a boat and you're trying to conserve. But we've made the command decision to just leave it on because we love having fresh ice. It's a great machine. It makes these little nugget ice. And man, we just put it in everything. And it's so nice when it's hot out here to have that. Thank you, Ted. We're great YouTubers. Awesome. I mean, we're trying. You know, it's Megan and I have this deal is like, we want to do this as long as it's fun. You know, I mean, all we're doing is just showing, like, this is really what we're doing out here, and we're just sharing that and putting it out there. And I've gotten pretty good at editing videos, and it's fun. We don't ever want it to feel like a job. We don't want it to feel like something we have to do. Like, if it works and the channel flies, and if it ever makes money, great. That'll be nice. But it's not something that we want to feel pressure on ourselves to do. But we are seeing potential. You know, I mean, 6 weeks ago we had 400 subscribers. Now we have 11,000. I guess we're doing something right. And I'm studying more about, you know, what makes things work on YouTube and Instagram. We're learning, so yeah, it's fun. I'm glad that the audio is so good. Somebody just commented the audio is good. I'm not seeing, where is that? Yeah, but a boat tours, we've had that request from actually quite a few people, so. How are we making income on this journey? We're not. You know, which has been, you know, we're living on assets that I accumulated over a career, and I gotta be careful how I say it, but you know, I mean, I'm not a rich guy. This is a stretch. This is a stretch. You know, we're obviously comfortable. It's a nice boat. But this is not like, yeah, let's just go sail. There's plenty of money. We're figuring it out day by day, and living off what I've built a career on. And we kind of went earlier than I might have otherwise done. I'm 59 years old, and I don't know if you saw the story Megan put up yesterday, but I mean, this is physically hard. I'm beat up. You know what I mean? Every day, moving sails, working on the boat, fixing stuff. You know, I'm not a young man. I think I'm in pretty good shape for someone who's almost 60, but like, my arm is injured. My hip is bad. I have a very serious hematoma on my hip that was swollen up the size of a grapefruit. I'm tired in like a physical exhaustion sort of way, like I just came out of a freaking rugby match. So if I'd said, okay, let's work for another 5 to 10 years and save up more, I don't know if I could have done this when I was 69 instead of 59. So we just said, let's go, because this is a lifetime dream, and we'll figure it out. It's kind of where we are. And yeah, that's why, like, you know, hey, if these channels get monetized, that'd be nice, but it's not. Megan and I have this agreement. We're like, we don't. Authenticity is everything to us. Hopefully you guys feel it. Like, this is just us. It's who we really are. Sometimes we forget the cameras are on. We've had a couple little embarrassing moments. But this is who we really are. And you know, if we put this out there and the world likes it and enjoys it, and if it monetizes, that's great. But we're not gonna be untrue to who we are and what we're doing in order to accomplish that. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Ted says, hi Megan. She's got her headphones in so she can't hear anything, but Ted, I'll tell her that you said hey. Yes, and it is great that we're, you know, like I say, if I was 10 years older, I don't know, man. It's hard. It's really hard. And as you get older, as you know, like you break easier and you heal slower. And honestly, if my fall the other day resulted in a broken arm instead of a strained tendon, or even a torn tendon, 1,500 miles from land, that's a very serious medical situation. And there's no 911, there's no ambulance, there's not even a, you know, I can't call rescue service and get a helicopter to come get me. Like, we're 1,500 miles at sea, that ain't gonna happen. You would have to hope for a passing freighter or something like that, and they're not gonna wanna come help you unless it's truly a life-threatening emergency. So let's just say, for example, I broke an arm out here. We have to do the best we can until we get back to land in order to deal with that injury. And that's a reality that we're aware of, that we accepted before we departed. Our first aid kit on board is pretty extreme. I mean, it's got everything from tourniquets to splints to suture kits. I've never sutured a wound, and I probably wouldn't be that good at it, but I'm sure I could do a good enough job to stop the horrible bleeding, you know. But like, you have to accept that you might be in for the real deal and prepare for that. We have various medications on board. We're very well prepared, but you know, you accept these risks when you go. Hey, Vane pinstriping. I love hearing that you seize the moment. So true, man. I mean, we've really felt that. It's like, in a way, it's like having kids. A lot of people are like, oh, let's wait until we have enough money, whatever. You know, having kids was one of the most beautiful things I ever did in my life. There's nothing I'm more proud of. You know, could I afford it when we did it? No, but you figure it out. We're doing the same thing here. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work. And it was just like, is life gonna be better if I sit at a desk for another 10 years? Fuck no. Sorry for my potty mouth. You know, it's just like, let's just do it. Let's do it. And we have not regretted it. It's been a pressure cooker. Megan and I were just talking, we think we're maybe gonna do an episode on this. Like, it's been hard on our relationship, but it's also been amazing. Because out here at sea, it you know, every little thing that frustrates you about your partner is dialed up to 11 at sea. And if you don't sit down and take a deep breath and look each other in the eye and heart to heart, figure that stuff out, you ain't gonna make it. One of you's going overboard. So, yeah, good stuff. Yes, and well said. People regret more of what they didn't do in the end. You know, so like if on my deathbed, am I going to be like, gee, I wish I'd sat at a desk for another 10 years?
No.
Oh boy, dogs are being dumb.
No. Oh, I'm so mad right now. You.
Oh, and it was him.
Huh?
And he's out there. You can usually trust him. Pickles? No, I didn't.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Don't even want to know.
I don't even want to know.
Steve, don't even turn around right now.
I definitely don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
God. All right, dogs.
I'm so mad at him right now. I'm so mad.
Yes. First mate Megan's field commission to captain. But that doesn't have the, Wait, hold up there. I'm the captain. Easy there, Ted.
Ted.
Actually, we joke sometimes that she's the admiral. So.
I'm the fucking admiral. I don't want to be the captain.
She doesn't want to be the captain or the admiral.
I want to be the admiral sitting in a fancy office with all the medals doing jack shit.
Yeah. They're saying Megan dancing and singing in the background is the best. She's actually doing a little workout, doing some yoga.
I'm not dancing. I don't know if you know. A lot of people know, but I have a rare spine disease called degenerative disc syndrome, and I had spine surgery 5 weeks ago. I had to go home for it before this crossing. So I've been instructed to get on my physical therapy, and I've not been very good on it just because I've been in a lot of pain. So the mornings that I wake up and do it, yay me.
Yeah, it's good. You know, she needs to strengthen that. And that's a solution to the back, because it's been hard on her, because when you're on a boat, it's never still.
Yeah, and not just
so you're basically always exercising, and you're sore because of that.
Yeah, and not just exercising, but like sailing, you got to be physically fit, and I am not that right now. My body has been jello because I've had 3 major spine surgeries over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get back, but
yeah.
I'm so mad at you.
Diapers forever, dum-dum.
Gosh darn it.
Now you did it.
I'm trying to give you some room here.
Can't be trusted.
God, I'm so mad at him.
You're out.
Well, it's not off.
Nice try. Well, I'm not going to throw him overboard, but.
God, I can't believe you just did that.
Yeah, I can.
God, Steve.
I'm sorry. I just, I don't know why. Anyway, yeah, Dan just used one of my favorite terms, a boat bite. I mean, I have this massive hematoma on my leg, and unfortunately, I would show you, not that you probably want to see it, but it's right on the side of my hip, and I can't be confident that something horrible wouldn't happen if I tried to show it to you right now, so I'm not gonna do that. But I love that term, boat bite, and that's what's it. I mean, that hematoma, it's now 11 days since it happened. And it first blew up to the size of a grapefruit, and it's now 11 days later, and it's still swollen to the size of a tennis ball. And it's tender, and it's swollen, and it hurts like, it doesn't hurt just sitting here, but if I accidentally bump it into something, oh, heaven help me. It hurts like hell. But it's getting better. I was actually Googling, not Googling, I was grokking, I love grok, the other day, and grok will always come back and tell you, well, I'm not a doctor, but all I really wanted to know is, hey, 11 days later, this thing is still swollen and bruised and tender. Like, do I have a larger problem here? And the answer was no. That's pretty common with a hematoma. You're fine. It'll heal up. Just try to rest it. Rest. That doesn't happen. But anyway, it's getting better. Kristen, welcome back. Kristen, I've seen several of your comments. I think I missed you when you were on the live stream for several times in a row. But yeah, you've been the inspiration for a few things. I hope you're still hearing me right now. You were the inspiration for creating the walk around camera, which I now have and I've used several times. And yeah, I'm glad you're here, but let me see what you asked. Where are you going first when you get to French Polynesia, and how long will you stay in the islands?
We're gonna go get margaritas. That's the first thing I'm doing.
Yeah, no shit.
We're getting margaritas. We're gonna get salad.
We're gonna get stupid drunk and end up face down in the guacamole.
Yeah, Steve's gonna have a whole bowl of oranges.
Yeah, I know. So, okay,
I'm gonna get a massage. And
yes.
Find a hot tub. Can you speak, please?
Yep. Let me give you a long answer to that question.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're so busy. You're right. Honestly, I'm gonna come back to it. We kind of expected to come on here and have hours and hours and hours of trying to figure out what are we gonna do to fill the time, you know? And like we bought projects and I brought reading, and you know, part of my goal is I'll never be able to read the entire Bible on this trip, but I try to read more of the Bible every day. Like I've never taken enough time to do that, so it's really nice to have the time. But anyway, the idea was we were gonna have lots of time sitting around trying to figure out what to do with ourselves. Man, it's not been zero, but that has not been the case. Every single day we see the sun starting to set and we're like, my heavens, the day's over already. The days fly by, we're busy, we're always doing stuff. It's wild. But let me come back to what your question was. Okay, somewhat long answer, but French Polynesia is 3 separate archipelagos. You mentioned the Tuamotus, Kristen, and yes, we're going there. The most eastward archipelago is the Marquesas Islands. That's the first place we're going, specifically the island of Nuku-Hiva, Nukuhiva. There's a small chance that we decide to enter at an island called Hiva-Oa. There's a debate with all the cruisers right now, which one's easier to go through, which one is it easier to clear all their biosecurity? There's all kinds of inspections and government nonsense you have to deal with.
Dogs and plants.
Dogs, plants.
And honey.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But one of those 2 islands, so we will stop in one of those 2 islands, in the Marquesas Islands, check in and do all the government paperwork, which basically takes a full day to get cleared into the country. And then once you're in, we can only spend 90 days in the country of French Polynesia. Had we planned more in advance, we could have applied for and maybe gotten a long stay visa.
I'm gonna shower now.
But it's hard to get.
Steve, I'm gonna take a shower.
Okay.
You guys are on your
It's hard to get a long stay visa. It requires multiple trips physically going to a French consulate. So if we'd done that while we were still in Los Angeles and we'd started the process like last July, maybe we could have done that, but we didn't know it last July, so we only get 90 days. So with 3 archipelagos, the obvious math is we'll spend 30 days in the Marquesas, we'll spend 30 days in the Tuamotus, and then we'll spend 30 days in the Society Islands, which is where Tahiti and Bora Bora are. And it's still, when I say this out loud, it sounds ridiculous. Like I can't believe that's what we're doing. So obviously Tahiti and Bora Bora are the best known, but they're also the most, touristy, busy. So we'll certainly go, but the places that are magical are all the undiscovered little islands. There's something like 600 islands. Hopefully I'm getting that right from memory, but it's hundreds of islands in French Polynesia. So, the magical ones will be where we pull in and drop anchor and there's not another human around. And there'll be lots of that. So, 90 days. Current speed, yes, Ted, we are in the trade winds. We're in the southern trade winds now. We are 6 degrees south. So 6 degrees south of the equator. Each degree of latitude is 69 nautical miles. So, you know, what's that, 420 miles in round numbers? Something like that, south of the equator. And we're heading farther south. So right now there's more wind farther south. We have very light winds right now. The wind speed as I speak is 9.4, which is enough to move the boat, but not much. The boat is moving at a speed of 4.5 knots. And that's slow. You know, we really want to be averaging at least 5.5 knots. And when the wind is good and we're cooking along at 7 knots, we're very happy. So that's why we motored for a little while last night. Generally, if we drop down into the boat speeds of 3 and lower, if we're good on diesel, then I'll motor for a while, and we motor, depending on the current, anywhere between 6 and 7 knots. So we did that for a little while, and we were really good. We didn't need nearly as much diesel getting across the ITCZ as I budgeted for, and I brought along enough diesel for almost 8 solid days, 8 24-hour days of motoring. And we still have probably 45% of our diesel on board.
Can I do another load of laundry
Which is,
today?
yeah, sure. Which is fantastic. So I don't mind burning a little diesel here and there when the wind is bad, instead of just sitting and waiting and bobbing around in the ocean doing 2 knots, which really sucks. Face down in the guac, yeah. It's French Polynesia, so I'm guessing it's not going to be guac. I'm so used to guacamole from Mexico and El Salvador. But I don't know what it's going to be. Face down in the escargot? Who knows? I don't know what we're going to get when we get there. Current speed, we answered. Lots of fresh food for the Tuamotus. I've heard the grocery stores are very limited. Yes, very, very true. There's a lot of, and basically, even when they're not, everything's harder to get in French Polynesia, in the South Pacific in general. Everything's harder to get, everything's more expensive. A case of beer is $80, we've heard, and everything else is similarly expensive. Diesel fuel costs a fortune. So yeah, we'll stock up wherever we can and do the best. You didn't share how you got injured. Oh yeah. Yeah, let me tell you what happened there, Ted. Yeah, we actually, did I publish a video on that? I think I put out a little tiny short of the actual tripping incident, but yeah, I injured my arm. I'm trying to remember if I posted that video to YouTube or it was just an Instagram story. But yeah, that's probably worth putting out there. But here's what happened is, it wasn't even in the middle of a squall or anything like that, I don't think. I was just setting the sails. And we have, if you see in any of the videos, I'm trying to see, yeah, you can, if you look on the mast cam right now, on the right side, running from the foot of the screecher, the white sail, and running back to starboard, you'll see a yellow line. And that's basically, that's a 50-foot long yellow nylon strap. That's called a jack line. And it's a safety device when the seas are heavy and there's risk that you could trip and fall overboard or something, then we clip our tethers using these carabiners, kind of like rock climbers, to those jack lines. And the existence of that jack line lets us sort of drag the tether and walk all the way up and down the side of the boat while we're still tethered to the boat, or clipped in is the terminology. Right? So those jack lines stay there when we're at sea. And they're all over the boat in different places. So what happened was, I was preparing the sail and I was tying on the sheets and just rigging everything the way it needed to be. And I was sitting there on the starboard hull, right where that black sail bag is sitting right now. And I was sitting there and I forget what I was doing, tying knots of, rigging the sail. And I got up to walk to the other side, and I wouldn't know this if I didn't have the video from the mast cam, I tripped. My foot caught the jack line. That caused me to trip over that anchor chain, which is the white tray in the middle. So there's an anchor chain there, there's a metal cleat there, all of which is gonna hurt like hell if you land on it. And I fell, luckily, onto the trampoline on the port side, that big black trampoline area, which is a soft thing to land on. The downside was, as I went down, and again, I wouldn't know this if I hadn't seen the video, just by instinct, I reached out and tried to grab the sail, what's called the luff, the front of that sail. I tried to grab the sail, which is a big, at the time we were flying the Genoa, and it's a big aluminum tube that's about a 2-inch diameter. So I tried to grab that, and then as I fell, all my body weight went onto that, which hyperextended my elbow and re-injured a tennis elbow that I've been nursing for literally 15 years. And it's never healed over 15 years because I was never willing to take 8 weeks off of playing tennis is the reality. So I've basically been managing and nursing that same injury for 15 years. And I'd take a couple weeks off and let it feel better for a little while, and then I'd go back to playing. And so it was always this sort of low-grade tendonitis, but it really strained it. Luckily didn't tear it. I was really afraid I had torn a tendon because it hurt really bad going down, but I fell, landed there, and for the first like 3 days, the pain was pretty extreme, and I was actually very worried that I had a pretty serious injury when I still had 3 weeks of sailing to go. As it turned out, it's now sort of mildly sore, and the problem is I can't rest it. I can't not pull the lines. I can't not work the sails. I use my left arm as much as I can. But anyway, that was the injury. So now I'm nursing that injury. So I got that. I got the hematoma on my hip. It's funny, Megan and I joke about it. It's totally common. Every couple of days I'll look down or she'll notice and I'm like bleeding from somewhere. And I don't know why, I don't know what bit me, but there's like yesterday there's blood dripping down my leg and she's like, what happened? I said, I have no idea. Anyway, that's just the reality of it. Okay, so I'm yapping too much here. When you're closer to land and things are not so fresh, you didn't share how you got injured. Yeah, okay. So I think I covered all of that. As we get closer to land, we'll have fresh food available to us again. But we have frozen food. We have eggs on board. We bought eggs in El Salvador. Fun fact, the United States is the only place in the world, I think, where eggs have to be refrigerated. And that's because the big corporations do some kind of terrible treatment to them that removes a natural protective coating on the eggs. Everywhere else in the world, eggs don't need refrigeration. They just need to keep reasonably cool. So we have a lot of eggs on board and they're not refrigerated. We actually left El Salvador with 240 eggs on board. So we eat a lot of eggs. Okay, thanks to ChatGPT. Yes, you can find guacamole in French Polynesia. Thank you, Daryl. Particularly in tourist areas, restaurants. All right, good to know. So maybe I will be face down in the guacamole. Okay, so Kristen, 3 months. So we'll be 3 months in French Polynesia. And then, and I probably won't get the order exactly right, but then we have to leave the country of French Polynesia. But then we have the Cook Islands. We have the Pitcairn Islands. We have Tonga. We have the Samoas, including American Samoa. We're excited about American Samoa because it's an American protectorate. There's US mail, and you don't have to worry about tariffs and things like that. So that's going to be a great place to actually get stuff shipped to us, because there's always boat parts or just random things that when you need in your life, you go on Amazon and you have it the next day. That ability just goes away entirely once you're living on a boat. So we're looking forward to that, American Samoa. And then we will arrive in Fiji by November 1. And we have a 6-month reservation at a marina, a real marina at the dock with shore power, which means we can run the air conditioning all the time, and fresh water, potable water. So we have a six month reservation, and the reason for that is because starting November 1 until April 30 is the cyclone season in the South Pacific, same as hurricane season. And so while we're not going to stay in that marina for 6 months, Fiji is also hundreds of islands, and we'll be sailing around Fiji. If my investments do okay, I would love to fly our children out. Maybe we do Christmas in Fiji. I really hope we can do that. That's going to depend on how things go. We thought about flying home for the holidays, but we can't because of the dogs. The South Pacific is very strict about dogs. You literally can't take the dogs ashore anywhere. In French Polynesia, there's extensive clearance, and you have to pay for a vet to come to you. It's thousands of dollars, and then maybe you can take your dogs on land. Places like Fiji, not a chance. You're not taking it on land no matter what. And there's other islands like that. They're all like, okay, we have no rabies on our island, and we want to keep it that way. And I respect that, but I also kind of doubt that cruisers coming in with pets aboard has any realistic risk of importing rabies, but whatever. I respect that that's what they're doing. But anyway, what that means is we can't fly home because the dogs have to be cared for. And so in order to fly home with the dogs, you'd have to clear it through Fiji. They only allow you, the dogs could go straight from the marina to the airport as cargo. And then you got to fly them to the United States. Then you got to clear them into the United States. You got to clear them into Fiji. Then when you come back, you got to clear them again, which they probably would not approve. So basically, as long as the dogs are here, there ain't no going home. Which we did not know when we left, actually. That was something we learned. So that's the reality of it now. Anywho, we will be in Fiji for 6 months. And we will be doing, sailing around the islands there. And the key is, as long as we can get back to it's a hurricane safe marina, as long as we can get back to that marina within like 2 days, the key is if a named storm arises, we have to be able to get back to that, to safety in that marina very quickly. Bye, Ted. Thank you. And vein pinstriping. I feel like I should know your first name. I feel like we've met at a Dead show, maybe? Remind me if we've met or if you just found us. I can't remember. Please forgive me if I'm forgetting. But I feel like I know you. Anyway, the 5-year is to circumnavigate the entire planet. Yes. So it'll be a little more than a year in the South Pacific. Then we'll sail south to Australia, Indonesia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea. Then we'll sail across the Indian Ocean to the Seychelles. What else is over there? There's another island chain that the name of it is escaping me right now. Then the hard part is we got to figure out, the next goal is to get to the Mediterranean Sea. So that means going through the Suez Canal, which is right between Yemen and Somalia. Right? So we're still not sure how we're going to solve that. It's going to depend on what the political environment is like at the time. I hope and pray that it's gotten safer and we were able to sail right up through the Gulf of Aden and the Suez Canal and into the Mediterranean. And the Suez Canal empties into the Mediterranean just east of Egypt and west of Israel. So, it's a spicy part of the world, and we'll have to figure out. The other option is to sail all the way around the west coast of Africa, which is really not an option. I mean, that's months at sea, and there's nowhere good to stop going up the African coast, nowhere really interesting and safe. So the other option is you can actually ship your boat and fly there. Obviously expensive, again, depends on the financial situation. I don't know, we'll see, we'll figure that out when we get there. But anyway, so then that's a year or so in the Mediterranean. right? So then that's Israel, Egypt, but then as you go farther west, you know, you're hitting Italy, Greece, Spain, Croatia, all of the, I mean, we're really excited about that. So a whole year enjoying the Mediterranean, and then out through the Straits of Gibraltar, and then we'll sail, probably stopping at the Canary Islands, which is on the east side of Africa, and then cutting over to cross the Atlantic, which after crossing the Pacific, crossing the Atlantic is child's play. It's something like 15 days. And then we'll spend a year in the Caribbean. I mean, when I say a year, it's like whatever, you know, the whole idea behind this trip is, you know, you go where the winds take you, and we're already going to be spending longer in the South Pacific than we had originally planned because our plans changed. Originally, we were going to try to get all the way to Indonesia for hurricane season, but that would have required a hectic schedule, and we don't want hectic. So anyway, so that's the bottom line. And then roughly 5 years, whatever it turns out to be. And then at some point, you know, we sail around the Caribbean and come back through the Panama Canal, and then back up, you know, retracing. Yes, an online map that tracks our travels. That's something I've been saying I'm going to do for quite some time. And we can also, I got to get around to it. We can also put up our float plan that basically shows, hey, roughly these are the countries we're going, and this is approximately when we're going to be there. It always changes a bit. Like for example, our original plan was to hit every country going down Central America and get all the way to Panama, because most people come out of Panama because then you can bop down pretty quickly to the Galapagos Islands, loop around south of them, and pick up the trade winds. But it quickly became obvious that there was no way we were going to get to Panama in time, and you have to cross the Pacific kind of by May at the latest, or else you're not going to have any wind. And the conditions got more squirrely, and it was obvious we were not going to get to Panama by May. And so our choice became, okay, do you want to spend another year in Central America and explore those countries? Or do you want to pull the ripcord and sail across the Pacific from El Salvador and get to the South Pacific? And the decision we made is an obvious one. All right. Well, this has been fun. Hey, by the way, any suggestions you guys have? We're thinking about how we can make this a regular thing, because like we enjoy it when I sit down with you guys, or we sit down with you guys and answer questions. And so far we've been doing it just kind of catch as catch can. I'm almost hesitant to invoke some sort of a schedule that we have to live with, because that's not what this life is about. But I'm kind of open to the idea of saying, you know, hey, every day at noon Pacific time and 5 o'clock Pacific time, or sunset, 6 o'clock Pacific time, we're gonna sit down and spend a half an hour with you. Something like that. But anyway, ideas, suggestions, we're trying to figure out. You know, at one point Megan and I were talking about doing it hourly, which I think is totally unrealistic. But maybe twice a day, maybe noon and 6. People know at those times we're going to sit down here at the nav table and answer questions and chat with y'all. And honestly, this is really fun for me. Having stuff like my friend Ted coming on, I didn't even know who it was at first. Like, that was cool. You know, like Kristen, like when's the last time we talked? Decades ago. You know, rediscovering old friendships, and Dan's been on here. Dan was on my Newport to Ensenada race crew. So he was one of those guys when we were racing, it's 3 a.m. and he's up at the helm, you know, trimming the lines, going, ooh, I think we got another half a knot with this. You know, just good memories. Really love all you guys, and it's fun for us to sit here. It's like having you on board and chat with you. So maybe that's it. Maybe I'm solving my own problem, is we do it every day at noon and 6 Pacific time. And if people know those are the times, maybe that's when people dial in and you know, do the ask me anything kind of thing. Yes, Kristen, it's like being on the boat with us, right? And we feel the same way. It's like this whole live stream idea, it was Megan's idea. It was like, yeah, maybe we could do this, maybe we could make it work. Figuring out the technology, figuring out how to do it all. Wasn't all that hard, but it turns out it's groundbreaking. We can't find any record of any sailboat live streaming with multiple cams every day across the Pacific. So we think we're blazing a new trail here. And it's fun. It's really, it feels like having you guys on board with us. And if you're someone who would probably never get on a sailboat and go sail across the Pacific Ocean like us nut jobs, then it's, you know, it's neat to see what it's like in real time without having to take the risk. It is fun. Yes, thank you, Vane. I'm enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It makes me happy. So yeah, maybe I solved my own problem. Maybe we do it every day at noon and 6, you know, for like half an hour, whatever. But if things are going, everyone's asking questions, maybe we keep going. That'd be cool. I think maybe that's the answer. And then I can just add that to the description, and as word spreads, people will know those are the times. So on that note, I think it's now time to end this little love fest. Obviously, we'll stay online here, but I got things I got to do. Little stuff around the boat. I want to try to get the sunshades. We actually paid to have. I'll show you. We had these made in El Salvador, and it was amazingly cheap. But I have all this fabric. And as you can see, you can partially see through it. It's 85%, and it's custom made to the size and shape of the windows around the saloon here. And I have specific snaps that will attach them to the windows, and the idea is that should decrease the solar load here in the saloon and keep it cooler in here while we're you know, during the day on passage, because we don't have enough electricity to run the air conditioning while we're on passage, so we have to rely on fans and open windows, and it gets stuffy in here. So I'm gonna work on those. I'm gonna work on other stuff, but yeah, time for lunch for me too. So we'll still be on cam. We'll see y'all. I'm really glad the other cams are working. That's when I'm gonna install a new one. If I can get it to work, point it at the sails, the main sail, which will be awesome. And welcome aboard, and thanks for coming. B&G, if you guys are ever listening, your app is terrible. Just terrible.
slow speed zone, so that's the reason I did that.
All right.
All right. And then whenever we come alongside you, we need to turn, make sure we can get you alongside our boat. You're maneuvering, I can't do that. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have all the documentation to the vessel? Is it
yeah.
yours? Is it?
Maybe wrong. Oh. Oh, it's gotta be. Whoa, another ship. First one we've seen in, well, I guess we did see one on the radar the other day. The Dominator. CPA is 11 miles, as close as anyone else has gotten. All right, Dominator. I'm curious what you are. Oh, it's a tanker. All right. I don't know if anyone's listening, but we have a tanker coming at us. That is a 800-foot-long tanker, and we have not visually seen another ship now for another ship or boat or vessel of any kind. The last time we saw one visually was not that Dole freighter, but there was one that we passed not long after that. So I don't know, it's been at least a week since we've seen any other vessel of any kind. I don't see this one visually, and his current CPA, or closest point of approach, is 12 nautical miles. So if he's really that far away, we may or may not see him ever. But based on our course and speed, his course and speed, but I'm gonna alter course here before too terribly long, and we'll just have to keep an eye on him. But he currently, let's see, what's the range? He currently is about 30 nautical miles away. So we'll keep an eye on him. But yeah, it's all right. First time we've seen anybody for a week at least. And if anyone else is listening, so I updated our destination, and we currently have 1,338 nautical miles to go, which is as the crow flies. So we'll end up sailing 1,400 or more miles, but that's what we're looking at. All right, what did I do? Oh, that's what it is. Pickles, you put yourself in jail. Don't complain to me. beautiful.
Alright.
Look at you.
I needed to pull myself together. I'm starting to feel shitty.
I love it.
Really shitty. Pickles.
Pickles, you messed up.
What's the situation with the clothes? Are you gonna, or the laundry?
Oh, I'll go do that right now. Sorry, I've been.
Where's the bag here? No, I know you. Did I hear something? You were hungry?
I'm not dying yet, but I mean, for too long, I guess.
Before too long. Okay.
No, whenever. I really, another couple hours, that's fine.
No, I'm gonna make.
Um,
I think I'm gonna make some lunch.
And what do you think of this? The Ask Me Anything little session every day at noon and 6 p.m. So it's like sunset. Like, I think hourly is way too much, even every 2 hours. We could even do one a day. Like only 6 p.m. But I do like your idea of picking a time, publishing it, and we could do it sitting at the nap table, we could do it up front, like wherever we are.
Yeah, I'm fine. I didn't want to.
Okay, all right. I think that makes sense.
and
Look,
we just-
twice a day is long. Well, you're the one that said hourly, so like,
No.
I'm good with one.
Okay, when I suggested hourly, that was just me spitballing. It
Yeah.
wasn't me saying, oh, we should do this every hour. That was me going, whatever you want. I know you love talking, and I know you love, like, you're like really all about it. So I'm just trying to, it's all good.
Okay.
But like, yeah, publish it up, and as long as it doesn't conflict with anything else we've got going on,
Yeah.
you know. It sounded like you had a nice little sesh.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. Back brace, because I know I'm not hurting right now, but I know I will be. Those are some meds.
I feel like I had more extension cords on. I know I already told you this.
You had this conversation
I know.
every single day.
I know. I was like, I really thought I was like, oh, I got way too many, and
Did I
now.
hear we only have 1,300 miles to go?
Yes.
Oh my god. The end is near.
Yeah, that is correct.
The end is fucking near.
Yep.
I mean, that's so doable.
Yep.
That's nothing.
Yeah. Nothing.
I mean, we could like sleep and it'll be here.
Yeah.
You don't like it. I don't know what to tell you. You don't like it. You're the only dog I know that does not like peanut butter. Alright, so the things that I would like for you to do today is oil my sewing machine.
Hang on, I can't hear you down here, babe. Wait till I'm up there.
So these are the things I would like you to do today. I'd like you to oil my machine.
Are these on my list? On the machine.
No, these are just daily. Oil my machine, it's down there. Then I would like for you to put some more water in that bucket.
And I assume you have no idea how to do that, oil the machine. I need to research
You
that.
can search whatever the model is. I've always taken it in for service, so I've never done it. Number two, put some more water in that bucket. Again, it's like mostly diapers, and I just put some bleach on top of it. Bucket in the corner, and bring in my laundry.
I would feel that I would put bleach in my water.
Oh.
You know, like if we just keep them soaking in the water, that way they won't smell and they won't stay on the deck.
Whatever you
But
like
then,
me
like-
to do. I just had it sitting there and I just thought, oh,
Yeah. No, I get it. That
If
makes
you need
sense.
anything-
But it just makes now like, because if there's bleach in there, when I pour it out, I want to rinse it down and all that. It's just more.
okay, so I will do that again.
But yeah, so you want more water in that. When
Yeah.
the water's low.
Well, it's more diapers than it is water.
Okay.
And bring in my laundry. I'll bring in our laundry, the blue IKEA bag is there, and put away that bag.
Okay.
That would be great. And then I'll make some brunch. Pickles. buddy. I can't have anything nice. Come here. Amazing. Remember Melissa from Delivers In?
Yeah. Nice.
She looks amazing, right?
Yeah, she looks great. Oh
I'm
yeah.
happy for her.
That's the Melissa I remember. But like, yeah, you take those.
She was always
She
like,
looks beautiful.
I need to lose weight. So I'm happy she did it.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great. I'm really happy for her. Man, we've really worked with a bunch of idiots.
Hmm?
I think about
Yeah.
Drew. I think about. Remember that guy?
I'd love to chat with her and get her honest thoughts now that that's ancient history.
I think she did tell us.
She just thought he was a total clown. She was so good.
Yeah, so I started following there. Look, it's not as expensive as you think it is. But look, there's a bunch of just all they do is cargo ships back and forth through certain places and take a bunch of boats at one time. And
how much does it cost?
I'm gonna ask, but we started following them. It's called 7-Star Transport.
Okay.
And that's all they do is just deliver your boat through these places that are otherwise like they knew how to find me. I don't know why. Like I got there. We started getting there.
Oh, wow, that's point starboard. Woo! I guess that's the longer use of my water.
I want to get caught up. Like, what's with the blue tape? Is that blue tape something or that's just trash?
This is what I'm talking about. 8 knots of wind and we're doing almost 7 knots of speed because the current is with us.
Yeah.
And the wind is on the beam.
Yeah.
Like this is champagne right here.
Champagne and wishes and caviar dreams.
Yeah.
I would like to listen to some music. That would be awesome.
You mute the microphone and turn it on. If you need me to do it, I'll be up in a minute.
Bless you. Hi everybody, just wanted to come and say hi. Normally it's Steve who's Mr. Social. But I just thought I'd peep in. I'm gonna make a brunch for Steve right now. He's gonna have steak and egg sliders. Steak, cheddar and egg sliders. And that's the plan. It's a beautiful day. I got off to the right start, getting some exercise on, which is nice. So I'm glad Steve's enjoying you guys. Hey, will you tell me? I think I cut all the shit off that, right? It looks good, right?
Yeah, that looks really good.
Okay.
Looks great.
How about some steak and egg cheddar sliders?
Yeah! I like that idea. How's that for enthusiasm?
Pretty enthusiastic, Steve. Looks like you have a lot of people in your chat, Steve.
Yeah, there were.
That's great.
It's gonna make you horny, baby.
Yes. That's right. Make sure you leave that on later.
Maybe it's just me, but I think it was time to change that filter.
Oh God. What's that from again?
The water maker.
I mean, do you think that's left over from El Salvador, or do you think that's new?
Got me, boat. Hey, Megan,
Hey, yeah?
you're not running water right now, right?
I did for a minute.
Oh, you did. Did you just now?
Yes.
Okay, darn. How about now?
No.
Okay, oh good, all right, that's a good sign.